Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I'll be previewing the Washington Commanders versus Arizona Cardinals Week 1 matchup. I'll be giving you guys all the injury updates in terms of Terry, Chase Young, and some of the Cardinals guys. We'll do some keys to victory and a score prediction at the end of the video. Subscribe, hit that like button, and that notification bell as well so you never miss a video. And shout out to Mojo for sponsoring this video. I'm very excited to announce that I will be partnering with Mojo for this football season, and so far I've been in love with Mojo Fantasy. It's a crazy new app that turns sportsbook odds and selections into fantasy contests. Here's how it works. There are thousands of NFL and MLB player props. You build a portfolio, and the better your portfolio performs, the more cash you win. Pick as many props as you want and try to beat the crowd. It's a whole new way to play fantasy. The props act like stocks, so you can buy and sell live all game long. It's the only fantasy app that lets you make moves after the game starts, so you're not stuck with a bad pick. You can cash in on a hot start or just hang on and let them ride. That's it. Make picks, make moves, make money. Download the app now on Apple Store. Go ahead and check out my link in the description to download the app and use code Pedro for a first time deposit match of up to $100. Check out Mojo, and huge shout out to them. Man, we made it. Week 1 is finally here. The Washington Commanders are about to play the Arizona Cardinals in a couple days. And we just had the Thursday night football game with the Chiefs and the Lions, which is a solid game. So yeah, football's back, and I'm super happy about that. And the Commanders are playing at home against the Arizona Cardinals, 1 p.m. at a sold-out FedEx Field, and that is amazing. There's going to be a bunch of new, old faces back. John Riggins is going to be at the stadium, I believe. Champ Bailey, who hasn't been since he left, will be there since he was a Bronco. And then you got RG3 there as well. So it's going to be packed, but hey, it doesn't matter unless they win. If they win, and hopefully convincingly, people are still going to be hyped, and the momentum is going to continue. Now, let's get into an injury update. So, for the Commanders, Terry Mclaurin is playing. He's a fighter. And yeah, great news. He might not be fully 100%. Might be like 85, 90%. That's fine, though, as long as he doesn't push himself too much and you limit him as much as they can. That'll work out, and then hopefully he's like, if not 100% by week 2, close to that, and by week 3, week 4, he's fully good to go. Chase Young and James Smith-Williams, they're questionable. And then Dax Milne got put on IR, which is something we talked about here a couple days ago. So Jameson Crowder, I think he's going to get elevated. He got elevated, and same thing with William Bradley King. So, hey, Jameson Crowder probably going to return some punts for the Commanders, and William Bradley King going to play a little bit despite, no matter what happens with Chase Young. William Bradley King is, he's playing because they also have the James Smith-Williams injury and then Efe Obada and Phidarian Mathis. So not sure what the James Smith-Williams injury is. I think it just popped up on the report. I mean, I'm just throwing something out there. I didn't see what it was, but could be something like asthma or something like that because he's dealt with that in the past. But I guess we'll find out right here. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, oblique issues. That is it, but nothing surprising here. Chase Young, man, hey, if he plays, he plays. If he doesn't, he doesn't. I'm just really upset. I really wish I could. I really wish he would play, and I know it's not 100% up to him. He has to get checked out, and I understand that, but I really wanted to see him play week 1 against a team like the Cardinals where they got some guys missing. Their O-line isn't great, so yeah, I'm not happy about that, and I understand he has an injury, so he's out, or not out, he's questionable. He might not play, but it's a little frustrating because we had to wait all year last year for him to play, and he finally played, and this year I was expecting a healthy Chase Young. Gets hurt in the preseason, thought it was a stinger and it wasn't going to be anything bad, but it's been a month, basically. It's been a month and he hasn't been back, so yeah, it is what it is, man. Hopefully he plays and hopefully he dominates because I think he definitely can. Let's get into the Cardinals injury update. So, Hollywood Brown is questionable and Zach Ertz is questionable. So 2 of their 3 best offensive players, are questionable, and you got James Conner in there as well. So Zach Ertz, even if he plays, I don't think he's going to be fully back, and he's been dealing with the ACL injury. So if he plays, he'll probably be at like 70%. And then Hollywood Brown, Same. I don't know what his injury is. Might be a hamstring. And then Kelvin Beachum, I think he starts for them at tackle. He has a banged up hand, so he's out. So hey, if Chase Young plays, Montez Sweat, those guys gotta eat. But that's the injury report. They're dealing with more injuries than we are, especially with Terry being able to play. That's good news for us. And we'll see what happens with Hollywood Brown and Zach Ertz. Out of those guys who plays, they might both play. I would say Hollywood Brown probably has a little bit more of a chance to play than Zach Ertz, because Zach Ertz is coming off a very, very serious injury. So they want to make sure he comes back and he's fine. So let's talk about some keys to victory. I'm doing this on the fly right here, but you got to fluster Joshua Dobbs. That is the biggest thing, and I'll go ahead and look that up for you guys right now just to give you guys a graphic. But Dobbs isn't he's played before, but you've got to be able to fluster him. He's starting, and I guess I didn't know this before, but he worked with the offensive coordinator that is with the Cardinals with Cleveland last year, so he knows the offense a little bit, but he's still new with the players and everything, and he's not great. This guy is not a starter in this league. Maybe he'll surprise me, but I don't know, man. There's no reason you should lose Joshua Dobbs. He's mobile, so the only way they'll win, and even this is a stretch, but is if Joshua Dobbs, really hurts us on the ground. So you gotta play as one unit, and that's something that Chase Young, even Montez Sweat, but Montez Sweat did it well last year, but especially Chase Young, they need a rush as a group, because if they're undisciplined, Joshua Dobbs will hurt them on the ground. So that is one thing that they have to do, is contain him as a rusher, because as a passer, I'm not concerned with him at all. As a runner, that's another thing. So try to contain him. Maybe have Jamin Davis playing a little bit of a QB spy just to get him, or it could be Cody Barton as well. But just have someone to keep an eye on him, because you don't want him to get those first downs. Because that is something he can do. He can just run. He's fast. So that's something to watch out for. And then of course, fluster him, pressure him early and often, and force him to make those tough, quick throws to not many great receivers and tight ends, especially if Ertz is out. McBride is good. If you're a Cardinals fan, go ahead and chime in the comment section below. But McBride is good, should have a solid year. And that's a guy maybe they'll have to focus on if Ertz is out. And then, Marquise Brown is the guy to watch for, especially as a deep threat. I could see Kendall Fuller getting beat early on by Marquise Brown. Yeah, I could see that, but hopefully it doesn't happen. And they got, Rondell Moore as well. Small guy, but shifty and quick. They use him with, in the screen game a lot. Or at least last year they did. They got a new offense, new coaching staff. That's another thing that's an advantage, is we're playing not only is he a new coach in terms of, he's coaching a new team, but he's also a new head coach. He hasn't coached an NFL team before, or he hasn't been a head coach. So that'll be an adjustment as well. Whole season, but definitely early on. That's a huge advantage. But yeah, in terms of the defense, fluster Dobbs, get some pressures, but also make sure you're playing disciplined and you don't allow him to hurt you on the ground. And then on offense, this is every week, and it's cliche, but turnover battle, both sides of the ball. Sam Howell, don't put into harm's way too much, and he was, he did a good job with that in the preseason and in training camp for the most part. And on defense, let's try to force some turnovers, like some interceptions, some forced fumbles. We're playing Joshua Dobbs, for God's sakes. You should be able to, fluster him for sure and create some turnovers. Would love an Emmanuel Forbes interception week 1. And then on offense, get it to your playmakers. Jahan Dotson, Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, and De'Ami Brown. I'm not concerned about a single player on that Cardinals, in that Cardinals cornerback room. Who do they have? Budda Baker is great. He's a good player, but if he's not going to be able to guard Terry or Jahan or Curtis. He's going to be on the tight ends and maybe the running backs, and he'll be, more of a linebacker / strong safety. That's what he is. He's not guarding those guys. So I'm going to actually look this up right now, but let's look at their depth chart to look at the corners, because they lost They lost Byron Murphy. They might have Rocky Sin, but their cornerback room is not very good, and that is something that we can definitely try to target. So their corners, they've got Keitrell Clark. They got Antoine Hamilton Sr. And then Marco Wilson. That's like the only really kind of notable name, guys. Like this is cake, right? Like we should 100% be able to cook them. And then other guys that are notable on this defense, you got LJ Collier, who is, I believe, a former first-round pick from the Seahawks. Kaiser White is a solid linebacker, and you got Zaven Collins. This defense, respectfully, is awful. It's just awful. There's no reason we shouldn't. Like, if we put up, fewer than 23 points on this defense, or 21, let's say, that's sad. This defense is not good. Their offense is not great, but it's better than their defense, I would say. They've got, James Conner, who's solid. They've got Marquise Brown, who's not a good number one, but he's a number two, number three. Rondell Moore is a solid option. You got Zach Ertz, and you got a couple okay options on that offensive line. And they have some injuries, too, with, Pat Elflein, Marlon Mack, and Kelvin Beachum on IR, and, of course, Kyler Murray. But attack those corners, man. Like, if Jahan Dotson / Terry, I'm going to give Terry a pass because he is injured. But if Jahan doesn't get over 100 yards, like, something's wrong. I mean, maybe, something's wrong if Jahan doesn't get over 100 yards, maybe even in the first half or first three quarters, because at the end they'll probably run the ball a ton, but their D-line isn't great either, so you can attack them as well, attack their D-line as well. But I would definitely say attack the secondary because they really don't have anyone besides Budda Baker, and he can't really guard Terry and Jahan, so that's something to definitely attack. And really besides that, like, there isn't a ton. Again, don't turn the ball over, and you should be good in this game. The only way we lose this game is if we do it to ourselves. So a lot of turnovers, a lot of penalties, like special teams, bad plays. Got to play clean on special teams. So Crowder, we don't need him to do too much. Just fair catch it. If you see an opening, go ahead and do it. But if not, hey, just fair catch that thing, and we're golden. We're golden. The offense will do the rest. Because, and I don't want to disrespect the Cardinals too much, but this is the first time I'm really looking at the roster, and, like, it's just not great, guys. It is not great, and we should definitely be able to, beat them. They got a couple players, like I said, Zach Ertz, Rondell Moore, Marquise Brown, and Trey McBride, but that's really it. And they got a couple young guys on the offensive line. But let's go ahead and give my score prediction. I don't think this is going to be an absolute blowout. It could be. It could be by 21 plus. I'm thinking, originally I was saying 24-13. But after seeing that defense, like really looking at it on paper, I'm going to go 27-13. 27-13, Washington Commanders. That's a 2-touchdown win. And hey, that's good enough for me. It would be great if it's more. If we can shut them out, that's great. I mean, the last time we were close to a shutout was against the Cardinals opening game, I think, 2018. So let's do it again. Dominant win. Tomorrow we'll be doing a stream. Again, check out Mojo. Really check them out. Use my code Pedro. And they've got some great deals over there. Like I said, first time deposit match up to $100. I'm going to be doing some giveaways, so stay tuned for that. Peace, guys.